Live from Los Angeles, I'm so incredibly excited for today. I'm Dr. Erin, I'm a doctor of divinity, and we come together each day to know the truth, live on spiritual principle, and align with universal law. And I am so excited for this series because I am interviewing some of my closest, best, most amazing girlfriends ever. And today is one of the special ones. She is one of the
Oh,
special ones. So Amberly Lago is a dear friend. She's given a TED talk. She is a health coach. She has been featured on the Doctors, Today Show, Hallmark, you name it, because her story is so amazing of what she's had to overcome. But what's even more amazing is how loving she is and how she really touches and inspires so many people's lives. Hi, my dear, how are you?
hi, beautiful. I'm so excited to see you. Thank you for having me.
This is the first time we've seen each other since we've been in quarantine.
I know we were going to try to get together and then we went into shelter in place, and it's been like so happy to see your face. I'm so happy we can connect this way.
Yeah. So, I know so many people have heard your story, and I don't want to get too much into that, but I do want to just briefly tell them about, the terrible accident
Mhm.
you had where you almost lost your leg and having to overcome that. And that's so important. I want you to get into that. But what I was thinking is that I wanted to interview my spiritually based girlfriends as the expert that they are. And I think that you're such an expert in so many things, everything from mindset to PR. Like you're really good at really understanding how to get your voice out there and impact millions of people's lives. You're incredible at helping people, develop their message and their mission and all
Mm.
that stuff. But when I think of Amberly, I actually just think I want her body and I want her energy. Like that's like let's get it real, okay? So and I think that is important because so many people are in the pandemic and they're in lockdown and they're like, how do I keep my energy going? How do I keep my motivation going? How do I, as you say, move your body and move your mindset? So tell
Mhm.
me briefly about what happened to you. How long has it been since you were in that
It's
terrible
been
accident?
actually it's been 10 years ago. Oh my gosh, no, 11, no, 10 years ago this month. And I feel fortunate that I my default as a kid, no matter how I was feeling, was to do something that made me feel good, and that was to run or exercise. That was my therapy, and dance. I love to dance and tap dance, and so I wanted to pursue my dreams as a dancer, and that's how I moved to LA and I danced, and then I got into fitness training, and my whole life was athletics and dancing. I mean, at the time of my accident, I was actually sponsored by Nike. I was doing fitness videos. I had trainers that worked for me. So I had a business that was something I loved doing. And when I was hit by an SUV while riding my motorcycle home from work, I had no idea how drastically that day would change the rest of my life. And, it took 34 surgeries and months in the hospital and thousands of hours of excruciating physical therapy to get through saving my leg from amputation. I had a 1% chance of saving it. And that 1% chance was the glimmer of hope that really carried me through so much. But it was when I was diagnosed with CRPS, or complex regional pain syndrome, it was really the point that took me to my rock bottom. And I really had to pivot my career. I had to shift my mindset. I had to hang on to hope and be really anchored in my faith. And that is what got me through. And
Mm.
when I say I'm fortunate that I did have a default of athletics, I knew that would make me feel good. That has always been my go to. Even when I was stuck in the hospital bed, I knew that if I could just move my body, that it would move my mindset. It would make me feel more confident. It would make me, those endorphins make you feel good. So I had a hospital. In the hospital, I had a chin up bar installed over
Mm.
my hospital bed.
Wow.
One of my friends, I had him bring me some dumbbells. And so I could not move my lower body. I couldn't even stand up to use the bathroom on my own, but I did what I could to strengthen my upper body, and that did shift the way I felt. And
Okay, so
so,
wait, let's break this on down because there's a lot of people that are not committed like you. And we know that when we're coaching somebody or when we're doing anything, the first number one thing is commitment. Without commitment, you have
hmm
nothing, right? So let's
hmm
take somebody out there that are like, okay, I want to move my body, I want to move my mind, and I want to be like Amberley, but the truth is that I'm just not motivated like her. Do you truly believe somebody could get motivated enough to really want to really
hmm
move their body
yeah.
every day?
Oh my God, yes. And you know what? Motivation is something we're not always going to have. I mean, the other day I lifted, but I didn't feel like lifting. And so I really believe that that starts with your daily habits. And right now is the perfect opportunity to come out of this pandemic the strongest person mentally, physically, and that starts with daily habits. So let's say you go, oh, I want to look stronger and feel stronger, and I want to, or I want to gain some muscle, or I want to lose some weight. Well, if you just think of that, that is not motivating enough. You have to think about, okay, well, what is that going to give me? That might make you feel less out of breath when you're walking with your kids across, up a mountain. May be able to even walk up a mountain when you weren't able to
Yeah.
before. I know that feeling of not being able to do that. It might allow you to actually put on a bathing suit and go to the
That's
beach when we're able
motivational.
to go to the beach,
No, so what you're saying is that if they're not necessarily motivated for that, if they link it to something that they really the core value of their life, like maybe it's that
hmm
they really care about, the grandchildren that they're going to have one day and being able to have enough energy, or maybe it's because they care so much about making a difference in their business and their energy level transcends into that. That's what you're saying. It's like a
exactly.
tether to what that's a great, I mean, that's really is the greatest way of getting someone committed is getting clear what they are committed to and then linking it to that for sure. Absolutely.
Yeah.
So
And
let's take them through. Okay, you have 5 ways to strengthen your resilience. So let's break this
mhm.
on down because all we have is a half an hour and you have so much wisdom, it's ridiculous. So let's do it. So
Oh, I
five
just
ways.
want to
Sorry.
I want to share as much as I
I
can. My
know.
intention is to really give some things to people that they can use today, tangible tips they can use today. So, yes, we all have an inner source, a never ending well of resilience within us. It's just learning to tap into that. But it also, just like strengthening your body and doing things at the gym to get stronger, resilience, you have to do the same thing. You have to do things to strengthen it every single day. And you have to wake up and be willing to do what you can to strengthen your resilience. And I think one of the hardest things about any challenge, whether we are in shelter in place like we are right now with this pandemic in LA, or whatever you're struggling with, is that sometimes comes along with that. So just the other day, I had another surgery last week and I was slipping in despair. And I thought, I will never let myself get as low as I was at one point. And so I immediately, I think the best way to shift your mindset and shift your perspective is to count your blessings, really get grateful. And there's always something to be grateful about. And
Mm,
sometimes the quickest way to shift your perspective is to think about how worse it could be.
right.
And another way to strengthen your resilience is to really be in acceptance. It's really easy to start getting anxious about the future or what's up ahead or the uncertainties ahead, or start to get really sad about things that happened in the past and get stuck there. But if we are really in acceptance for what is going on right now, then we can think about one thing that we can do to take action to get ourselves to the place that we want to be. And you might think that one push-up doesn't matter, or writing one page of your book doesn't matter, but those things add up. And
Right.
so when I was in acceptance for the things that were going on in my life, I could go, okay, well, what can I do to change this? So when I was stuck in a bed, I would stand up for sometimes seconds at a time. And really, one of the things to strengthen your resilience is your community. And a lot of times people feel lonely right now because they live alone and we haven't been able to actually see physically, people in person. And so, what I suggest to people is really to take a look at your community, reach out to 3 people during the day and see how you can be of service to them.
Mhm.
Your community is not just the people who are in your inner circle, but it's really the people who are you're following on social media. Are they passionate people? Are they inspired? Or do they make you feel down? I mean, unfollow people that you're following that bring you down. I just had this conversation with my 12-year-old the other day, and I said, you're complaining about someone you don't even know on social media that's making you feel bad.
Mm.
Unfollow them,
Yeah.
and it's
But
going to be so much more fun.
But you know, I love it what you're, I think that it's like, I believe that we're only given what we can handle. And I believe, obviously, you're a very advanced spiritual being, if you will, in that you're practicing these principles in pain. You're practicing these
Hmm.
principles, with your leg, having all kinds of issues, if you will. Like it's really amazing, and I totally believe that I mean, I know it's like do we create everything? I believe we create every last drop of everything. Because I mean,
Hmm.
at some level, I think that you were ready at a soul level to say, I'm ready to master my mind at such a level. So I think that even like this
Hmm.
pandemic is like a way that I think if we shift, like it's really developing. It's interesting when we're sitting in pandemic where one person's like, I'm going to still persevere and how great this is, and they figure out a way to pivot. They figured out a way to get their mind right, and the next person complaining and spiraling down. So
Hmm.
you have something that you want to talk about. So the 5 ways. So just to break it down again, tell us again the five
Okay.
things.
Perspective, the
Mm-hmm.
ability to shift your perspective. um, Acceptance, start really looking right now what it is in your life that you need to accept so you can start to make positive
Mm-hmm.
change. Community, because we are who we surround ourselves with. Endurance, because I think we could all use some stamina, to get through, whether you're at home and you are stuck in a house with toddlers and you're trying to get everything done around the house, or whether you are building a business, or whether you are really focused on your fitness goals right now. That takes endurance, and it's really about that passion and perseverance that come into play that give you the grit to get through things. And then the last part of building a resilience is really about rest. And that is the
Mm-hmm.
hardest thing for me, because even in this situation we're in right now, I have been so on fire to make a difference. I'm like, what can I do to be of service? So I was like, I'm going to share these principles. I'm going to give away my book. I'm going to do a resilience challenge. I'm going to do a move your body challenge. But at the end of the day, my biggest challenge is rest. And
Mm-hmm.
sometimes rest is finding different ways to rest when you're in too much pain to fall asleep, or finding ways to rest when you have that never ending to do list. And so it really comes down to, what are your priorities? How can you find different ways to rest, whether that's through meditation or really taking care of yourself and giving yourself the grace to really reboot and re-energize and recover.
Yeah,
We
because we
all
could work
deserve to
24/7.
recover.
We could work 24/7 all the time, right? It's ridiculous,
Oh my
right?
goodness. Yeah.
Yeah. So let's break on down your morning routine, a morning routine to change your life for better. So give us some
Hmm.
tips and hacks and stuff for what people can do to start their day.
I think my life goes well when I have my morning routine. If I skip it, my day never goes the same. And every day I wake up earlier than everyone in the house so I can have that quiet time. And I start my day off before my feet hit the floor. I say my morning prayer so I'm connected to my higher power. And then when I wake up, I have a moment to write in my journal. I think writing is very healing, to get out your thoughts, to have that time to really think about, what are your intentions, what are your wishes. I read out of 2 to 3 spiritual books, whether it's just a daily affirmation or a short passage. And then I write down an affirmation for the day. And then I also make a point throughout the day to move my body. And then I do the most important things. I make a list. I'm big on writing lists, and I do the most important things first thing in the morning
Love
when
that.
I'm very clear. And that might seem like a lot, but it changes your day just by doing these
Mhm.
things. Instead of waking up and going, oh, I got to grab my phone. What's on TikTok? What's on Instagram? You are completely frazzled, and
Mhm.
you feel like you have 100 million things pulling at you. And when you can start your day in that quiet time and really focus on what your intentions are, it just sets the tone for the day.
Yeah.
And
Well, TikTok, I hear there's a girl on there that's tap dancing. That is
well,
I heard you went on TikTok and have like
yeah,
40,000 views on your tap dancing. So, you know.
it's crazy, crazy. You told me a while back, you're like, girl, you got to get on TikTok. And I'm like,
Hmm.
I don't know about this TikTok thing. And I actually put my tap shoes on for the first time since my motorcycle accident. And my foot was swollen a little bit because of my surgery last week. And my daughter was like, Mom, I don't think your feet are going to fit in those shoes. And I'm like, oh, yes, they are. And I was like, oh my God, I still remember how to tap dance. And I put it on TikTok and I was like, oh my gosh, people are actually watching this
Right?
and liking it. It's unbelievable.
Okay.
But
So, so okay, I don't want to cut you off, but I want to get to this because look, there's so many people. I think that the future of people that the future of gyms, the future of working out, the future of all of it is, for me anyway, is going to be with people that help motivate me and keep me in truth, that understand that
mhm,
prayer in the morning along with my workout is more important, if you know, and as important, right? So I
mhm,
want to know, if someone's working with you, like what would you say is the ideal scene? If say, like, I'm a prime example, like I go in spurts of working out, but I'm very inconsistent, but I always end up doing it over the course of a year. I'm like, I do it over the course of the year and I'll like fall off and then I go big stream and then I'm like whatever. So I want to know, like, what would be something, can somebody like me work with you? Where do you have a community where you work out with people? Like what does that look like?
mhm. I think that's really important to connect with people in a community because we can spur each other along when we don't feel like doing something. And I think accountability is key. It's not just consistency, but it is accountability. And so everything you speak of is exactly what my mastermind course is. And it's a mind, body, spirit transformation course because I feel like it's all those things that make you your best self. It's not just the working out, it's not just having a spiritual practice, and it's not just mind, body, it is spirit too. It's all those three things. So I do have a mastermind course with a limited amount of space because I want to give so much individualized attention. And so it's a 12-week course, and we meet every week through a webinar, and we have one on one coaching sessions. And what's interesting is even when I got back into training, I thought, oh, who's going to want to work with me? I'm broken. I was still on crutches. I was blown away. My business boomed because people had seen me walk the walk. They're in my wheelchair, they're on my crutches, so I understand the challenges of, having to get up again, having to start again, having to lose weight. I mean, after my accident, I was 20 pounds heavier than I am now. I
Wow.
went from first losing 20 pounds to gaining 20 pounds more. So I know what it's like to have to put on muscle again, and I know what it's like to have to lose weight. But most of all, I know what it's like to just get started when you're like, I don't think I can do this.
Hmm.
And so that's why I think it's so important to have a community of people that you can connect with every day and have that
Hmm.
accountability.
Well, I want you in my life every day. I mean, I think a 12-week thing's good, but I think the world needs Amberly every day. I want you every day, every morning to have, because I see some of your videos and they're really great, or I see you with those, I've never done those ropes, and then I see you lifting the animals on your farm, and I'm like, wow, she's like, works out no
I've
matter
been
what,
lifting
no matter where she
everything.
is.
I've been leg pressing furniture. I've been lifting up
Leg pressing.
goats. Yesterday, I was lifting up my 12-year-old trying to squat with her. She wasn't happy about that, but I'm like, come on, let's do this. It's like start where you are, use what you have,
Mhm.
and do what you can.
But don't you think maybe it's going to be interesting from this pandemic if people will go back to the gym? Because obviously I mean, it's all going to shake out however it's going to shake out. And I think, of
Hmm.
course, there's going to be a percentage of people that love going to the gym that will keep going to the gym. But there's probably a lot of people. I mean, I've been walking around Beverly Hills every day about 5 or 6 o'clock in the evening. And it's so beautiful to see people out running and walking, and they're doing all kinds of things outdoors, which I'm an outdoor kind of girl when I work out. I don't care for the gym. But I think
Hmm.
somebody like you, like I want you in my life to show me something I can do when I'm in the park that day, or something that I'm, but but the reason why I love you over, the zillion fitness people out there is because you live in faith. And I think that
Hmm.
for me, that is my must have. My girlfriends, my inner circle, like you, are spiritually based and entrepreneurs committed to making a difference in the world. And that is
Hmm.
for me who I want to support and why I'm doing the series. And I think that if you're out there and you're watching, everyone's going to have a like-minded tribe. It's not better or worse, or you should find your own tribe. But if you are somebody that is faith-based, that knows it and wants to live the truth and get your mind right every day, I think it's important to find your mentors and coaches that are in alignment with what really matters
Hmm.
to you. And I mean, Amberly, you're just, sign me up for that one, because I want to
Oh,
just I want
thank
you have
you.
some great, like, you do these things with like the different balls and the this and whatever, and I'm like, oh my gosh, that looks like a really tough workout, but it's so good for like 10 minutes to do something like that.
Well, I think it's been, my husband used to make fun of all this in home equipment that I had. And now he is using it and asking me, oh, how did you do that? What can I do for my hamstrings? And this time is a great time to be really creative. And I've been using a skateboard to do hamstring curls and ab push out rollouts. I look around and have fun with what can I lift? What can I throw? What can I press? And my favorite time or thing that I've done in this pandemic is gone outside every single day on a bike ride with my daughter. And I think I'll continue to do that. And I have some clients that I work with one on one that they don't even want to go back to the gym. We've been connecting through Zoom,
Hmm.
and it's been a challenge. They've never been on Zoom before, but now we've just gotten into the routine of doing it, and they're saving time with the travel to the gym, being in their car. And so it's going to be interesting to see what people do. I'm not sure I will go back to the gym until things are really settled down with the virus, but I think there's always something that we can do
Right. I
outside.
got a jump rope, and I am so out of shape that I can barely, like, when I run right now, I have to run and then stop after, like, I run hard for like 4 minutes, I stop, I start again, because I'm just my lungs, I just haven't been consistent in my jogging. So it's like I'm trying to work myself back up. But one of the things I found really is good is the jump rope. Oh my gosh, that's such
Yeah,
a workout.
it is. And I am horrible at that. I end up with bruised toes everywhere. Terrible at that. I'll do a pretend one. I'll jump with a pretend. So there's so many things at home, even if you don't have a jump rope, you can pretend, jump
Hmm.
and pretend,
Hmm.
But I think it's just that consistency and doing a little bit every day, and all of a sudden it starts getting easier. And I do the things that are the hardest for me first and get
Hmm.
those over with.
So another
It
thing I want you to do, because this is like my whole thing, I'm gonna put my wish list to the universe for Amberly. I also would love it, like, I want to go like do group things with all of the girls, like, and do workout, like hikes, walks, runs, whatever. Like, sign me up for that community, like, really
yeah,
and
that
truly.
yeah, I love that too. And that is part of the mastermind, is to have a meetup, but I've only scheduled one actual meetup. But I love your idea of even doing a weekly meetup.
Right? Let's do it.
Yes.
We should totally do that. That would be
Yeah.
amazing. I think
And that's
so
what
many people.
happens when you and I get together. Our brains just like explode with
Hmm.
ideas.
Hmm. Yeah. Well, I just love and adore you. Tell everyone where they can find and follow you and consume all. And you just did an audiobook while during this time, right?
Yes, the universe gives you so much. When you give, it comes right back. And when the pandemic hit, I was like, how can I be of service? And I did a post and I gave away books. So I mailed out hundreds of free books, that because I wanted people to have something to read. And then I had recorded my Audible book right before the pandemic, and it came out. And I was like, oh my gosh, it's finished and it's ready. And I had so many people buy the Audible book. So it was like such a gift. And then I looked and I had book sales. So I was just so grateful for that. And so, yes, I have a book, True Grit and Grace. It just got released on Audible, which I'm so excited about. And if you really want to, if you need some, like a little spur of help to get you through your gratitude practice, I have a free downloadable gratitude journal at my website,
Oh.
amberlylago.com. That's where you can find the mastermind. You can find the TED Talk if you want to dive deep more into the PACER method to get you through, to strengthen your resilience. And I'm hanging out on Instagram at Amberly Lago Motivation. And I just got on TikTok at Amberly Lago. So we'll see what happens.
And you have the podcast, True Grit and Great. I was your first
Oh
person. That
my
was such an honor.
gosh.
Let me
Oh,
tell you.
when you said yes, I was like so
But you've
touched
had
by that.
huge names since me. I'm like, wow, I'm honored because you've had tell a few of the names that you've had on your podcast.
Oh my goodness. Well, I just had Trent Shelton on the podcast, Kim Gravel on the podcast, um, Michelle Polar from Hello Fears on the podcast,
Mm-hmm.
Henry Amar, who I know you know as well, and I just
Mm-hmm.
love him.
Love him,
I've
right?
just I've had so many amazing guests. I'm just so touched that
So amazing.
I have the opportunity to share their stories and their tips and tools on the podcast. And that
That's
was
right.
really a dream come true to be able to do that. So
That's right.
thank you
Well,
for being on.
I think that we should do a little prayer to pray out on this. So let's just take a deep breath into the nose. Exhale out. And I'm just so incredibly grateful for my amazing girlfriends. I'm so grateful for this amazing woman, Amberly, her true brilliance and glory and grace and everything that she's been through. I recognize that it's all been for all of us, for all of our higher good, through her demonstration of her ability to overcome pain and struggles and some of the hardest things you could ever imagine is really the hope and strength that we all can witness through her amazing life. I'm so grateful for this woman, for her love, for her heart, for everything that she does for so many, and also moving the body to move her mind. And in this, I recognize that everyone deserves to not only prevail like she has, but to have incredible girlfriends and community and everything to really light up your life and to stay inspired and motivated from the true source within, from the inspired divine source. And then this recognizing that no matter what we can move, no matter what we can be an inspiration, no matter what we can persevere. And so I recognize in this that we all come out as the champion that we already are through this pandemic, through anything we can handle, anything, knowing the truth and living the truth. As together we say, and so it is. So, oh my gosh, thank you so much for tuning in
Thank
today.
you.
If you
What
guys
a
are
beautiful
new on
prayer.
this, yeah, if you're new on here, I do this Monday through Friday at 9 a.m. If I'm doing an interview, I won't be on Instagram. If I'm not doing an interview, I will. Across Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, we're on Roku, Connect TV, Good Morning La La Land, all the channels across the board, iOS, Apple TV, everything. Because it's important. Positivity is important, and connecting and showcasing these amazing women and people around the globe and gentlemen as well. And I just want to say thank you, thank you, thank you for tuning in. Please like, share, comment. Please go follow Amberly, get motivated, and know that you deserve to have the greatest life ever. And that's it, you guys. So anything last that you'd like to say at all, Amberly?
Oh, I just thank you so much for letting me be here. And yes, anybody reach out to me, especially if you're struggling. You are not alone. We've got this together.
Thank you so much. So what are you going to do for the rest of the day? Go
Well,
work
I'm
out?
gonna go. Yes, I am actually. I'm gonna go work out. Try a few things with Ruby. We're gonna work out in the garage. We've got the garage all set up.
Okay, cool. Well, give her my love. Give your family my love, and I can't wait to give you a big hug as soon as this is over. Okay, I love
Me
you so much,
too. I
and may
love
you live
you.
your truth, you guys.